Welcome to Bamfordrose, and it's forum chat time. This week's forum chat is going to have a look at something we've spoken about before, but like a lot of these things, we keep having to say the same thing, especially when you see examples of the same old thing coming into the workshop, and it means that someone's spent their hard-earned cash on something that's not worked out too well for them. This week's forum chat is about aging rear tubular steel subframes. So these are the subframes fitted to V8 Vantage and DB9 from 04 all the way up to the modern era. Starting to become an issue now because as the cars are aging, this is pretty much the one and only component on the car that is going to corrode significantly and have a significant consequence. The message from this forum chat is that an in-situ cover-up, paint over, treatment of the subframe is definitely not the thing to do, and if it is identified that the subframe is corroded to a level which, perhaps it's by the fixings that mount the upper wishbone onto the brackets on the subframe, perhaps in those important structural areas there's a bit too much surface corrosion, it's starting to look a little bit too aged and something needs to be done about it. And that something is removal of the subframe, shot blast, zinc plate, powder coat. Now this is discussed on lots of forums because it is starting to become an issue, and I do see time and time again that some people treat the subframe when it's in situ. The pictures I'm about to show you are from a 2012 Virage with 35,000 miles on the clock, and this subframe was treated in situ a year ago and 3,000 miles ago. Oddly, it was done by an independent specialist recognised within the Aston world. Any competent person within the Aston world that knows what they're doing, if asked to do a job like that, like us, is going to say no. So that's not the correct way to do it. You're only going to treat and make look pretty the areas that you can see. What you would need to be worried about are the areas that you can't see and what you can't get to. So if your independent specialist takes on a job of prettying up a rear subframe in situ, then you really need to be thinking twice about them taking on any job. So here's a series of pictures where you can see that the coating that they put on is starting to degrade. In places it's starting to come away, and underneath you can see the subframe just as rotten as what it was prior to them putting a treatment on a year ago. Now if we look at a rear subframe that we have demarried from the car, so it's got the gearbox in here. Now you can see the lower sections that you can get to, but you can see above the gearbox and round to the sides of the gearbox that there's sections that you just can't get to when the gearbox and the subframe is in the car. Now if we look at the picture of the same subframe with the gearbox removed, now you can see with that gearbox removed there's some areas of corrosion on this frame that really needs to be taken care of. But you never would be able to take care of it if the gearbox was in place and if the frame was left in place. So on this frame it's pretty pointless to take care of the areas that you can see. And if you do, let's just scroll back to the pictures of the frame a year on, then this is all you're going to be left with, the same level of corrosion underneath, and all of that treatment that you paid your hard-earned cash to put on is flaking off. Finally, here's pictures of what you should be looking for. This is a subframe that we've removed from car, shot blast, zinc plate, powder coat, and that's going to last a lot longer than the covering of material that the factory put on at production. So 10-15 years shouldn't even be getting close to when this frame needs looking at again. Hope you like that forum chat, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one.